everybody. So in my November giveaway, I asked you guys to comment me telling me what types of videos you'd like to see or if you have any video requests, and I was requested to do a video on makeup brushes and what their purposes are, because I mean, when I first started makeup, I was like, what in the world? Why are there 20 bajillion quadrillion different brushes just to do your face? I mean, wow. But then I learned that every single brush had a purpose, and it could be the tiniest little thing, like this little tiny zit that you cannot even see because I used a tiny little brush to cover up my blemish. You're probably wondering, I mean, if you were just as clueless as I was when I first started makeup, like, why do they have this brush and this brush? Why do they have the same name, like powder brushes, but there are 5 different shapes? What the heck's a kabuki brush? Why does it sound like it's Japanese? Is it Japanese? Then I found out it was Japanese, because there's this thing called kabuki powder, and you just look it up. It's made out of pigeon poop. Anyways, so, well, I mean, they might as well be like, there's a hairbrush. What's the toothbrush for? Yeah, I don't even know why a toothbrush and a hairbrush would be in this video, because these are not makeup brushes. Actually, no, Michelle Fan, she used a toothbrush on her lips to exfoliate them, so yeah. So these are all my brushes. I don't have that very many. As you can see, these are all my eye brushes and my face brushes, because I don't do much to my face other than blush and foundation. And a little bit of concealer, but yeah. So I ordered a brush set from Outlook. It's a crown brush set. It hasn't came yet. I'm supposed to get it next week. So yeah, but I couldn't wait to make this video. I kind of been putting it off, so here it is. Ta-da. So I'm just gonna take out all my face brushes and just start with that. Okay, face brushes, like obviously for your face, and I mean, they even have like body brushes. Like some people put like body bronzer on, so that's like, yeah, but I don't do that because that's just awkward to me. Anyways, these are my face brushes. So let me just take you, where am I gonna take you? You're watching me on a video. Okay, so these are powder brushes, and all my brushes are from e.l.f., which I do recommend if you're starting out with makeup because they're very inexpensive. They range from $1 to $5 on their website. So I mean, I'm starting out with makeup, so I started with e.l.f. brushes, and they're just really good if you don't want to spend $26 on one brush for MAC. So anyways, these are powder brushes. As you can tell, they're different. Their shapes are different. This is a dome fluffy powder brush, and this is a flat top powder brush. These bristles aren't as dense. They're very like loose and fluffy, and these are very dense and like, yeah. So I can tell you right now, I am not an expert on brushes, but this is what I've learned. So I mean, you do not have to take my word for everything, but if you learned something from me, great. So a flat top powder brush like this is usually dense because you can use, like, if you want heavy coverage on your foundation, this is the perfect brush for you, because you just pack on your powder foundation or your liquid foundation. But I personally don't really use this for foundation because this kind of is easy for you to get a cake face, and that's just not cute. I mean, you might as well stick your face into some cake and just save yourselves the energy to do all that to your face. Anyways, this I use for packing on my translucent powder to mattify my face, and pretty much, yeah, that's all I use it for. Sometimes I use it for my bronzing or my contouring into my hollows of my cheeks, if that's what it's called. So yeah, dense bristles mean packing on your product, as opposed to this, which is very fluffy and light. When I want a light like veil of translucent powder, I use this brush, and I don't really use it for anything else. Or you can use it as a light touch of blush, but I use a blush brush and blending for my blush, because this would just add a sheer color just because the bristles aren't so dense and it's just really fluffy, and I just like having it because it's just cute. I don't have that many powder brushes because I'm not really a face makeup person. I'm more of an eye makeup person, which I'll show you later, that I have like tons of like eye brushes. Okay, and this is a duo fiber stippling brush. Yeah, it's a very, sorry it's like dirty. I didn't have time to wash my brushes to show you guys this, But I use this for my foundation because when you use a skip that part. A stipple brush or stippling brush, it promotes an airbrushed effect to your foundation, and when you use liquid foundation, and that's what I use for my foundation, or this is what I use to apply it. And God, I keep talking to the mirror. It's so annoying. Well, and it's duo fiber because it's this black fiber, and it's originally like this white fiber, but obviously it's just this tan color because of my foundation. But obviously here the bristles are very like spread apart, so this is kind of what helps you get a very light coverage to your foundation, and it definitely does not give you much of a cake face because it's easier to blend out, and you know, just looked a lot more natural. So this is what I use, and it's preferable. I'm not really sure what else they use this. I think I've seen other gurus use this, like use this brush for blush, use this brush for blush. Okay, so yeah, pretty much you gotta check out other, like if you watch other people's makeup tutorials, you can see kind of how brushes are used, and that's kind of how I learned what brushes are for, and you pretty much can make up your own purpose like for your brush if you don't agree with what I'm saying, but I'm just telling you what I've learned and what I like use my brushes for. So okay, so here is a bronzing brush. I don't use it because it's just super cheap and really lame. Like it's supposed to be used for the contours of your face, but I don't ever use it because I need it to be more dense, and it's too like, well, flimsy, and I don't know, it's not that soft, so don't really use it. But usually if you see this angled brush like this, it's usually used for like contouring, and it's for a bronzer, so that's what you would use it for here in this area of your face. Yeah, but I'm gonna buy a new brush, angled like bronzing brush, because this just doesn't work for me. It just kind of gets the product all over my face, and it just ruins it, and I just look like I'm from the Jersey Shore and I just slapped a bunch of self-tanner on my face. Okay, well, and this brush is a fan brush. I'm never using this. I can't believe I bought this. It's such a waste of $1. I would totally have bought like something off the dollar menu instead of bought this stupid brush. Okay, a fan brush, a decent fan brush, is used for like, okay, you put like eyeshadow on and there's fallout. I'm gonna use a fan brush just to brush it off, or like sometimes they use it for the contours of your face, and I don't know. I don't really find a reason to use a fan brush. I just thought it was cool and it was a waste of $1. So yeah, if you get a good one and you find use for it, let me know, because this is stupid. Anyways, this is a concealer brush. No, this is a foundation brush. I don't really use it for foundation, because if you use a foundation brush or something like this, it kind of like, if you don't blend it that well, it'll leave streaky marks, and that's kind of gross on your face. Yeah, but I kind of use this for blending my concealer under my eyes, which is similar to the concealer brush, my duo concealer brush, which I put eyeshadow on it, so ignore that. See, they're very similar. This is a foundation brush as well, but I just use it for concealer just because it's flat and it's easier to pack and blend that concealer underneath my eyes. Okay, and then last but not least, my face brush. It's a blush brush. They have tons of blush brushes. They have ones that are even this big and this fluffy, but I like the small precision type of dome fluffy brush. It's very light but kind of dense, so I just pack on the product and then I blend it out, so it's all nice and like airbrushed and pretty, I guess, if you can say. So blush brush, obviously for your blush, for your blush. But it's this brush is perfect for the apples of your cheeks, and you pack on the product and you just go at it pretty much. And yeah, I don't think I would be a person to use a blush brush that was this big, because I might just look like a clown. So I like control, and a tinier brush for blush is controlling, whatever, it's easier to control. Okay, on to eye brushes. They have tons of eye brushes. I do not have all of them, so I'm just gonna go and tell you about the ones that I do have. There are three. These are all the same brushes. These are just regular eyeshadow brushes, and I just use them for packing on color on my eyes, and that's pretty much all I use them for. If it's like it's called a flat shader brush, and you just shade with your shadow on your eyelid. It's kind of hard to control for your crease and to make a smoky effect. That's what blending brushes are for, which I'll show in a minute. So these are brushes shaped like this is good for just packing on color. And this is kind of difficult because the bristles are really like loose. If you had a denser brush, it's way easier to pick a product and put it onto your eyes. So blending brushes, I was just talking about. I might as well just get my contour brush too. I have two blending brushes, and they're just really loose, fluffy brushes. This one's just kind of everywhere, and this one's just a dome shape. It's way easier to contour and blend into your crease. This is just, yeah. Basically, you just put it into your crease and you blend, or you use them to blend colors together. So just to make it all like nice and defined. This is a contour brush. It's not exactly used for blending, but it's used for your crease to like define your crease and get the color in there, and just pretty much, yeah. So as you can tell, it's just a dome. It's really small. It'll fit in there. If you don't really have a crease, it'll just give you a little more control. Not really sure what else I could say about this. This is an angle shader brush. This I would use personally for a highlight, so I would just go like this as like I'm following my eyebrow bone. I would turn the brush because the end part, the fat end, the longer part would be perfect for underneath the arch and blending it out. So I just use it for that. Don't know what else you would use this for. Sorry if I'm kind of like vague with like the details about brushes, but this is pretty much all I know about and what I use for it. So I have this brush. This is like a small concealer brush, but I use it for like shadows underneath my eyes. Just because it's just easier to get a little bit of shadow, because you do not want to be putting like a ton of freaking eyeshadow underneath your eyelids unless you want to look like you're sleeping all, like you haven't slept in 10,000 days. But some people use a small concealer brush to conceal like little tiny blemishes. Like it's not like a whole bunch of like acne, but there's like maybe one zit, and they're just like, you gotta just get in there and be precise and cover it up. So yeah. This is an angled liner brush. They have a flat liner brush that's like, that doesn't have this angle. I use it for my eyebrows, not necessarily my liner, because I use a different brush for that. I love this brush. It's my favorite brush for my eyebrows, and it just works. This, I should have talked about this in my shading, or when I was talking about the shading brush. This is an eyeshadow C brush. It looks very similar to the shading brush. It's very dense, so it'll be able to pick up product. But as you can see, it's called an eyeshadow C brush because you just do a C shape like this. This is for like smoking your eyes out. But because a lot of gurus like say it's a V shape rather than a C shape, but I don't use it for that. I just use it for packing color. So pretty much, yeah. I'll probably do an updated version of this maybe in like a few months or so, but because I'm still collecting brushes, because I don't have all the brushes, and I'm pretty sure if you like Googled or you went shopping for brushes, you'll find tons of different brushes, like different types of blush brushes, bronze brushes, powder brushes, eye brushes, like pretty much, yeah. But I hope I helped you guys out. If you have any questions, follow my Twitter. I answered questions on there way faster than I do on YouTube. So if you follow my Twitter, mention me, or like at MegaXMakeup. Hey, I got a question. Can you answer it for me? I will answer it as fast as I am on Twitter. So pretty much, yeah. Don't really rely on YouTube too much for questions. Yeah. I think that's it. So, well, catch you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to enter my December giveaway. Bye!